Welcome back to Movies Recapped. Today I will show you an American Christian drama film, from 2016, titled Miracles from Heaven. Spoilers ahead. Watch out and enjoy. It is a beautiful Sunday morning in Fort Worth, Texas. The sun shines brightly from the gay blue sky as the cool breeze blows clean fresh air throughout the countryside. Bird songs and insect chatter softly pierce through the tall leafy trees. Beneath them, a small stream ripples gently, watering short bushes, grasses, and flowers. On a beautiful farmstead, the Beams reside in harmony with farm animals like pigs, goats, cows, and dogs, calmly enjoying the magnificent climb. Christy Beam hurriedly picks out a few flower pots from her abundant collection and carries them outside for the monthly church picnic she will be hosting later. Her husband Kevin lays the hay while their three daughters, Abby, Adeline, and Annabelle, are playing outside in their Sunday school dresses. Now that mom is done setting for the picnic, they all buckle in their silver Ford Ranger double cabin pickup and head to church. After the praise and worship songs, Pastor Scott cackles up the congregation in his delightful sermon on faith, and thereafter the church members gathered at the picnic to chat, break bread, and enjoy a good barbecue while catching up. The teenagers were of course glued to their phones beside each other. The church community applauds Kevin Beam for the new mixed animal clinic he just opened, amidst other announcements and internal memos. Christy whispers to Emmy that they use the house equity to finance the clinic, to which Emmy responds in discontent. That evening, after Christy tucks their daughters to sleep, Annabelle falls sick and throws up, adding a new item on the list for Christy's anxiety. The mother of three is still up after putting Annabelle to sleep when her husband Kevin finds her at the kitchen table, and the two engage in a little discussion about their family dynamics. Kevin, being the charmer that he is, calms his wife down and makes her smile, and the couple went to bed in faith that the animal clinic will do well, and so will Anna. In the coming weeks, the couple takes their sick daughter to 3 different doctors, all of whom did not have a diagnosis for Annabelle and her constantly swelling stomach. They make way for gastroenterologist Emmanuel Dorsey, which Christy had discovered online and was supposedly the best in Fort Worth, but even he could not make anything out of Annabelle's condition. However, Dr. Dorsey presumes that the girl could be lactose intolerant after ruling out other diagnoses from the test results. At dinner time, the two sisters are told the news, and in the spirit of family and solidarity, they all agree to boycott pizza while Annabelle avoids all dairy until she gets well. One night Annabelle screams out for her mother in anguish. Her stomach pain was back. This time she was even sweating through her pajamas, so they rush her to the hospital and call Emmy to come to stay with the other sisters. At the hospital, Christy is fed up with the lame responses doctors give that Anna's condition is not a big deal. She insists to see another doctor and that she is not leaving the hospital if the doctors do not find what was wrong with their little girl. A second doctor, Dr. Borghi, reviewed Annabelle and discovered that part of her intestine had completely twisted off, and he tells the parents straight off the bat she has to be cleared of the obstruction right away or she would certainly die. Shortly after Annabelle is put into surgery, family friends together with Pastor Scott and the two sisters were at the hospital to support and comfort them. The doctor sermons them for an update which they had no idea would be extremely bad news. Her bowels were cleared, but new findings showed that the girl had very severe intestinal motility disorder, meaning her intestines would not process food. The new norm for Annabelle was tubal feeding and a swollen stomach that her clothes did not fit anymore. Kevin could only watch Annabelle's discomfort during meal times and feel sorry for her, but proud of his wife Christy for being strong through their daughter's painful experiences and still coaching her through her normal school and social life. When everyone left home for school and work, Christy ran the house and sat several hours a day to follow up on Dr. Nurko, a motility specialist in Boston, who Drs. Borghi referred them. Dr. Nurko's schedule was so tight that he would only take up new patients when the ones he was attending to no longer needed his care, that is, when a patient died. Christy could not fathom this explanation from Dr. Borghi. What were the odds that her daughter was not going to die before one of Dr. Nurko's patients? Kevin tries to uplift the spirit of their sickly daughter by bringing her a Yorkie Terrier puppy to play with, but Christy does not like the idea of adding to her plate of caring for their 4 dogs. She feels it's unnecessary. As if her struggles were not enough, that Sunday at church 2 women came up to her to suggest that her sins or those of her husband and daughter could be cause for the prolonged condition of their daughter and that they ought to repent. Christy was boiling in anger later that day while she explained to Kevin what just happened to her at church. She even swore to never return to that church. One fateful evening, while Christy tucked the girls to bed, Abby asked her mom if their sister is going to die. Seeing how worried Anna's older sister was, Christy makes a bold choice to visit Dr. Nurko without an appointment. Upon arrival at Dr. Nurko's facility, the receptionist could not check her in without an appointment, even after Christy poured out her heart in desperation for the love of her daughter. Later at a restaurant, Anna causes a mess and a friendly waitress, Angela clears it up as she made them comfortable. Christy found herself connecting with Angela and telling her about their visit, to which Angela offered to be their tour guide. They all laughed on the way to the aquarium as the trio sat in the front of Angela's old car, and miraculously, as they sat quietly after seeing the many fish in the aquarium, Dr. Nurko's receptionist called Christy to confirm an opening for the following day. After examination by Dr. Nurko, Annabelle was prescribed a trial drug to help her get off tubal feeding, only that the presumed side effects would mean that she would have to return to Boston every 6 weeks for monitoring. This was all too much emotional and financial pressure for the parents, but they had faith everything would fall into place through God. The journey kicks off for little Annabelle with a loving support system and a hardworking father, but unfortunately, she does not respond well to her medication and she has to be admitted for close monitoring. Anna makes a new friend, Haley, who shares a room at the hospital. Haley suffers from cancer, and the two speak about their fears and hopes of getting well so they can be happy children again. Anna comforts Haley and gives her the cross necklace she has always worn, telling her they are not to fear dying. On hearing all this, Haley's father, Ben, warns Christy to restrain Anna from giving false hope to Haley. Back at home, Kevin does not fit in his wife's shoes, as the two sisters find it hard to rely on their father to run the house, especially after he forgets to take Anna to her soccer game. He feels obligated to make things right, so he takes the girls to Boston to see Anna, but at the airport, Kevin's credit cards decline. However, the receptionist was kind enough to let him overdraft the charges and gave them tickets. This was after he overheard Adeline exclaiming that Anna might die before they get to see her. What an angel. Christy, on the other hand, is having a hard time convincing Annabelle, who has thrown in the towel, to take a shower. She has no idea that depression is slowly crippling Anna, who is tired of fighting. Kevin and the sisters cheer them up with a warm surprise, and later Dr. Nurko releases Annabelle to go home, as it would be better than in a hospital ward. He further instructs Christy to seek psychological therapy for Anna, as she exhibited signs of depression. At home, Christy embarked on her follow-up routines with a psychologist for Anna, while Abby is excited to have her sister and mother back home, but is saddened by her sister's self-isolation, so she engages Anna in soccer for old time's sake. As the two girls played, Anna's attention is drawn to a huge leafless tree in their compound that she used to climb, and Abby, in her quest to make her younger one happy, encourages her to climb, to which Anna agrees as Adeline watches from a swing below. The two girls enjoy the view from the top of the tree and compare it to the Eiffel Tower that Anna has always wanted to visit. All of a sudden, the branch they sat on started to crack, and in fear and amidst Annabelle's screams, the older sister asks Anna to move and sit on the tree's trunk, which she does, but little do they know that the trunk is hollow and Anna falls right inside the hollow tree. Poor girl has been suffering for months, and now her painful body has taken a high fall inside a tree, headfirst. Abby tries to call her now unconscious sister, to no avail. The elder sister is in the worst fear of her life as she runs to the house to get their mother, not noticing Adeline, who just stood there watching in confusion, asking, "Where is Anna?" The parents quickly call emergency services as they try to make something of the situation. Christy must have been in an adrenaline shock all the while until the ambulance and firefighters arrived. Then it hit her. The sirens and commotion got to her and she was dumbfounded. Her daughter was going through too much for any 10-year-old child, let alone hers. None of it made sense. She wonders where God was in all of this, but Emmy was by her side by then and managed to get the other girls away from the scene, as Christy remained strong for her little girl. A ladder is leaned, a crane lifted, and a man rappelled, with others anchoring him as he went in to take Anna out. News reporters made their way to the scene to document the ordeal as paramedics communicated on radiophones. The two parents watched and heard as one paramedic said that the victim shows no sign of life and proceeded to instruct for preparation of CPR procedure, but there was nothing they could do. Christy could only fall on her knee right at the foot of the same tree to say the Lord's Prayer amidst her pain and fear that Anna could be dead, while Kevin joined her, and then every one of their friends followed, together with their daughters. Night falls by the time Anna is secured from the tree and airlifted to the nearest hospital. There, Dr. Joe speaks pure good news to the two parents who had been sitting in silence waiting for the complete opposite. The doctor said she suffered no bruises, no broken bones, and no internal bleeding. "I have been a doctor for 25 years and I have never seen anything like this," he said, and sure enough, Annabelle was discharged and exhibited extremely vibrant energy. Above all, her stomach swelling went down miraculously, all the while, her parents not noticing. Annabelle told her parents all about a miraculous butterfly in the tree and a safe place her spirit went to while her body lay unconscious. All this was miraculous, and as skeptical as it appeared to be, Christy has to confirm with Dr. Nurko that she was healed, so the tests proved Annabelle to be asymptomatic, although the doctor could not explain what happened medically. Finally, they received the best goodbye ever, one from a doctor. She was healed when there was never a cure for her condition. That fall was her cure, as ironic as it may be. Christy stood before the congregation that Sunday to tell every one of the miracles she and her family has experienced and lived. She is telling them of the strangest people that showed up for her and the strangest things that they did when suddenly a man rudely interjects claiming that this was attention-seeking plot for media display. Christy silently walks off the podium in embarrassment that she has been portrayed as an attention seeker, but immediately Ben stood from the congregation to speak of their encounter and ascertain the girl's condition was worse than Haley, who had just passed away. The little farmhouse family was back to life. Annabelle could now eat solid food and could not dare forget to embark on eating pizza. Kevin called it a pizza reunion. They sat outside again under the blue gay sky with the sun shining so bright and bird songs and insects chattering softly through the tall leafy trees. The only thing that was different today was the miracle that surrounded them, the assurance of God's presence and the abundant intentional love for each other, knowing that miracles have always been everywhere and God did not once leave their side. Please like and subscribe, and click the bell icon to get notifications about new movie recaps.